Welcome back to the From Field to Plate podcast. I'm Jeremiah Dowdy here with Cody Gill. You know him as the short, ginger bearded man that I usually hang out with. No, it is not his brother, Matt, because he doesn't speak. We all know that. So if you ever see him, it's like a unicorn.
Just wave.
It's like a unicorn in the mist. It's here for a second and then gone. We're also here. A lot of you have heard me talk to my friend Jeremy before. He has a company called Get Fit to Hunt or Fit to Hunt. He's not the scariest one over there. If you know Nick, Nick is the scariest one over there. He's 5 times my size. We hugged one time and I broke a rib. If you've ever met Nick. So Nick, if you're listening, I love you. And I'm glad you finally cut your son's hair because those curls were getting a little crazy and they were froed out. And he looks just like you. So I'm glad you did that. But anyway, Jeremy, thanks for coming on, bud.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Cody, thanks for being quiet during this podcast.
Yep. Yeah, hey, I'm going to try my best to sit here nice and idle.
The reason we are having Jeremy on today, and the reason today is January 1st, and I'm going to try to post this today because it doesn't take me very long to post, is unlike Jeremy, if you see this picture at all, he is 5'5" and built like a tank. I don't know. What are you, 5'6", 5'7"?
I think with shoes on, we'll say 5'7.5".
Okay.
Right?
Hey, every half inch counts.
Yes.
And it's crazy. It's crazy to see his boys bigger than him now. But I've known Jeremy for probably 10, 11 years now. Back when we were both kind of getting started in this industry, and we've always talked, we've always hung out, we've always chit chat about stuff. But Cody and I decided when we looked in the mirror, and we both put on a little extra COVID pounds. COVID's been over for 2 years.
What happened?
And we were talking about, hey, we need to get kind of fit for this next hunting season. And we started laughing because Cody's like,
and we've joked about it the last 2 years too. Like, all right, this time we're gonna get serious.
Hey, let's do a competition on our watch. And he's like, yeah, we should get fit to hunt. And I started laughing. I'm like, well, I know a guy.
Yeah.
So reached out to Jeremy, but we wanted to get on and talk kind of a little bit about kind of the programs you have. I know you've got some stuff rolling out for this new year. You've been throwing it up on social media. And then also kind of Cody and I are going to set goals. We've kind of want to lose a turkey by turkey season. And that's what Jeremy kind of pitched at us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to shoot like a 2.5 pound poult, an egg. I'm going to try to stomp on an egg this year. That's my goal.
Right.
Cody's going to try to shoot, a 24 pound Eastern.
Good Lord.
But anyway, Jeremy, kind of explain for the people that don't know what, Get Fit to Hunt is, what Fit to Hunt is about, why you started it. You've been in training your whole life. You've been in kind of that physical aspect of it. So, and then we'll talk kind of like why Cody and I want to do what we want to do.
So really the way this whole thing started was just watching TV, right? So I was sitting there watching, I think it was when Meat Eater first came on, and one of the sponsors was Wilderness Athlete. And I thought to myself, boy, that's a cool concept. This is a supplement company that, still has multivitamins and protein powder and hydration products, but they're driving this niche. They're going towards the outdoorsman. And this is about the same time. I don't know if I would necessarily say the timelines really kind of roll identical, but you got guys like Cam Hames that are coming on the scene, and you're seeing kind of a changing of what the idea of a hunter could be. All right. And so myself, growing up hunting and fishing, and so as I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this, I'm like, in my head, I'm starting to noodle, what if we could put together some type of training product or philosophy or community that really tied in the fitness wellness aspects of this with that outdoor lifestyle. And again, initially it was like hunting, fishing, and we were thinking, wow, I'm in St. Louis, we're gonna do this, and quickly I realized that, in order for this to be successful, we're going to have to create things that anybody can do wherever they are. And so over the years, and we started this pretty much in the same basement that I'm sitting in right now, in the nooks and crannies. And we all got day jobs. We all do, different things. But coaching and training is what I've done for, I guess, going into 26, 27 years now. And so I thought to myself, I'm seeing this opportunity out here. No one else was doing this at the time. Now there's other companies that are working with outdoors, and that's awesome. But I thought, if I'm going to do this, I need to do this now. And so that's when I had met Nick, several months ahead of time. He and I, struck up a friendship. And I was like, let's start to build these components. What is this going to look like? So ideally, if you want to know the overall arching philosophy of what it is, we use a tagline all the time. Like, we can train you for the hunt of a lifetime, or just hunt for a lifetime. And I really hang on to that last part of it, because as this thing has started to evolve, it's one thing to get a guy ready to go to Alaska to chase a brown bear. Okay. We're working with a guy right now, and he's out in Maryland, and we do work through our remote coaching program. Same thing you and Cody are going to be working on. And what I found is that any coach that understands movement patterns should be able to create a good workout if they understand the movement patterns that are necessary for what type of outdoor activity you're going to do. Where I think we maybe are a little different is that programming sets and reps, not hard. It's building that relationship with our clients and our followers. And I always say it's cliche to say everybody wants a community, but when you get text messages from people that are genuinely, and maybe through West Texas Outfitters, you get the same feelings and vibes. Same thing, Jeremiah, with people that you've worked with on recipes and whatnot, that are truly appreciative for your friendship and enjoy talking with you and want to talk with you. They're craving that conversation. And so that's kind of where I think the next evolution has kind of started to go into how we design and coach, is because it's always been more than just exercise. Jeremiah, you're a dad. I'm a dad, right? Cody, I don't know, Cody, if you got kids or. But,
oh yeah, I got three critters.
Yeah, three critters
running right outside the door.
That he knows of. He's probably got more somewhere else, but
getting strong is going to help you belly crawl after that Osceola. It's going to help you go after that elk that's over on the next saddle. You got to cross that. It's going to do all that, right? But the things that kind of come along with becoming stronger, the discipline aspect to it, the brotherhood or sisterhood, we got plenty of women that are running around here doing this too. It changes the person. And so it makes them a better father, makes them a better employee, makes them a better baseball coach for their kids' team, makes them a better husband, better wife, makes all these things. And so we're focusing on more than just the fitness aspects of it, right? We're also trying to help coach people in the idea of, do you like your job? What do your finances look like? We're not financial planners, but all these things tend to go together. What's your relationship like? I've seen some really fit people with some really crappy relationships, and it doesn't vibe. So when we coach people, it isn't just tell me how many apples you ate this week and how many workouts you did. It's like, I need to know more about you. I need to know more about what is going on in your world, because if I can understand that work is demanding 50 hours and you've got an hour and a half commute and you haven't been able to get to your workouts because you're spending 3 hours a day in a car, well, let's start to formulate some other strategies. So through our remote coaching program, that is what we are doing. We are doing more than just, hey, here's this workout. It's going to come to your phone. It's going to be super. You're going to love it, right? It's going to give you a little pinger that says, hey, you didn't do your workout today. It's going to do all that stuff, right? But I think where it gets different is that I know you guys are very familiar with the concept of servant leadership. It's what more can we do for the people that follow us, that we work with, and if they don't ever purchase a thing from us, they never purchase a program or a hat or a t-shirt, did they leave our channel? Did they leave our page? Did they leave a conversation with us better? And so that's what this thing is starting to evolve into, not to mention just here, I'll throw the word out there, safe space. All right. We want it to be that space where you can be kind, you can be you can seek greatness, you can treat people with the utmost respect, but you can still subscribe to your to your faith. You can still subscribe to your moral compass. This is you can be patriotic. You can own guns, God forbid, in some place. You can do all of those things and still be a great person to whomever walks up the street, even if they don't agree with you or you agree with them. And that's kind of where I see this thing starting to really get, I guess, a stronger foundation or maybe some teeth, is that the training aspect is awesome. But what we're doing to help people, not just for that hunt, but to become a better person overall, like Jeremiah, like you were talking with talking to the lady about, cooking the meals and whatnot. You're providing something of value to them that should impact their life positively. So that's in a nutshell what we do. As far as our DIY programs, if you want to download a 6-week elk training program, well, you can do that. Do you want us to customize something for you? We can do that. But you should be able to hop on our YouTube channel and play and come away with some really cool stuff that should help you figure out some things along your way. So that's what we do.
That's super interesting. That's so it's a lot more than just putting a workout together for somebody. It's the whole community. It's bigger than just a workout. It's bigger than just get yourself together and in shape for a hunt. It's like y'all's tagline, fit to hunt. What was it? Hunt for a lifetime or whatever.
Train for the hunt of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's getting a hunt, essentially emphasizing on hunting for the rest of your life, not just one hunt, but big picture.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, and I think that's where Jeremy and I built a friendship so long ago, was based on kind of those principles that he holds and I hold on to, that it's more important to build a friendship than it is to, make money. And I think that's, I've held true to that this whole entire time. Jeremy, I get random texts from Jeremy, hey, can you Photoshop this? Or, hey, I cooked this pizza again. Or I think the one that made me the happiest most recently was, hey, we finally butchered our own deer. Yeah. And, I've been bugging him for 10 years to butcher his own deer. And it finally,
finally clicked, finally broke him.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
No, but I think that's that whole aspect about it, and why every time someone asks about a program, I send them your way. Or right. I remember you and I talking years ago about getting fit to sit, right? And that was that aspect. I was like, hey, you need to think about these turkey hunters or these deer guys that are sitting in stands all day long. It takes a lot of energy to sit and be comfortable and not cramp and not, and getting that turkey's coming in from 200 yards and you can't move with that shotgun up. It takes a lot of energy not to get fatigued when you're holding weight, and when and people don't think about that. They think we're just, rednecks who go out there and it's like we shoot a turkey. I can't tell you how many times I have been sitting there with a shotgun and my arm is twitching because it hurts so bad, and this turkey's still hung up at 70 yards. That's why I started shooting TSS with really, tight chokes. I'm 70 yards, done.
No problem.
But no, I think that's why I'm excited to try this. I know Cody's excited to try this. Is
definitely.
I've built the community with you. I've built the community with Nick. I was at Cody's ranch, and Nick and I were, the Kings were playing his crappy team, and we were talking hockey stuff as we're joking back and forth. And that's who I was talking to when I was hanging out with Cody, was Nick on that. And it's fun to see and build community with people within different platforms and have fun, and then be able to utilize each other. Because I know for years you've been utilizing, recipes that I've thrown up, and you've been asking questions, and your wife's now using the chili mix and not buying chili mix anymore. And so you look at all these fun things, and I'm excited to finally dive into your world, because for me, yes, when Cam Haynes and stuff hit the field, I'm like, listen, I have no desire to go run up the side of a mountain to go shoot an elk. Like, I can go and hike and take my time and go shoot that elk. But now I'm looking at it as, okay, I just turned 40. I want to continue to do this. And now that my girls are like, let's go hunt farther and hike farther. And then I look at my dad, who for his job walked, 15 to 20 miles a day, and he's 70 years old and he's still out there hunting with us. And I'm like, okay, in 30 years.
He's not missing a beat either out there.
Well, he is, because, because he gets lazy.
He's slowed a little bit, but I mean,
but I look at him, okay, in 30 years, I got to be in that in that same position or more, so that when my girls are in their 40s, I'm still going strong with that. And that's kind of where this aspect went over it. And, you know, I'm still wearing the same clothes that I've worn, but it's just, I want to tone and fit it because it's the most I've weighed since forever. But
Yeah,
it's because it's all muscle.
Yeah, that's all it is. No, I agree with all that. So
Of course you do, man of little words. Just copy
yeah,
and paste.
I don't know what you want me to say. All right.
So he just
what Jeremiah said, just again,
Control Z or Control V, and
copy paste.
Just pasted exactly what I said. But
yeah, no plagiarism in words.
But I know that on your website, Jeremy, you've got everything from like fixing your shoulders for like post rehab if you guys want to get out there and shoot a gun, or even, you know, how to be better in the marshes for duck hunting, which is funny because you posted a video of you dragging your sleigh with all of your duck decoys and stuff. And I laugh at all those guys that are duck hunters that are like gasped when they walk that 150 yards back to their car pulling like the duck through the marsh. And you never really think about there's things you can do in the gym to strengthen you for the marsh.
For that.
Like my mind never goes there. I'm just like, oh, well, I know that it's duck season and I'm going to be, my legs are going to be on fire.
My hips are going to hurt for 3 weeks after the first hunt.
And it's interesting you pick that one because we are working right now. So I've been testing out a lot of our programs that we're working on. I like testing this stuff out in there on myself because I mean you want to see how it's actually going to translate over to the field. So, you know, the blueprint for what we're going to call our extreme Drake. So we've got a program called the Drake, which is going to help duck hunters with better balance in marshes, you know, strength conditioning, stuff like that. But my eyes were open when 9-10 years ago, we went on the public land hunting for the very first time. And we drug this, you know, sled with 3 dozen decoys in it, a half mile, sinking in the sinking 3 inches every time you took a step. And my God, legs were on fire. Lungs, I mean, then you got to throw them out, then you got to hunt, then you pick them up, you bring them back. Light bulb went off when one of my clients here in St. Louis, who's, you know, upper 50s, was telling me that, you know, by doing these workouts, he was blowing past all of his buddies to the blind. He's carrying his decoys, he's carrying his gun, he's carrying their gun, and they're 100 yards behind him, and he's just straight in, straight out. And I thought, you know, so first off, the principles are working, you know, so we've got him bought into the print, he's doing it. And not only is he doing it, he's that guy that, like I said, he's in that late 50s, going into the early 60s, and he's not slowing down. He's still going to New Mexico and chasing elk. He's still deer hunting here in Missouri. He's still duck hunting. It's great. But it's also bigger than that because, like I said earlier, it's got this guy dialed into now. He never paid attention to his nutrition before. Okay. He's never paid attention to like going to the doctor for physicals. He's never paid none of that. This guy's done a 180. And it falls back into the premise of what we were talking about earlier, which is if we do this right, if we get you going, you know, solid in this one aspect to it, and it starts to translate over to other things, because the principles work for anybody. I've got, you know, high school athletes. I've got 78-year-old grandma. The programs work. We just have to alter the programs for the type of person that you're working with and their abilities and their ages, etc. The blueprint's the blueprint. But specifically, like just looking at the waterfowl type situation, I hunt with a few friends and whatnot that you know, it's becoming a struggle for them now, you know. So, and I'm 48, so you know, I'm hunting with guys that are a lot younger than me, and I'm hearing things like you know, hey, I shot a deer, dragging it with standing. They broke it down and they were exhausted. And I'm like, I don't think you should be exhausted. I mean, not like you got to quit and go take a nap on that thing type situation. Well, so
that's,
you know, this
is kind of where it started.
Yeah.
I was talking, because Cody, he bent over to fix Christmas lights. And I went, why are you breathing so heavy? Bending over. He's like, because I'm fat. And my daughter's like, is he dying?
Right.
And I'm like, and so I was like, dude, we need to lose weight. We need to get, we need to get
time
fit.
to do something.
Because it's funny. He was like, I just bent over and I can't, I'm too fat. I'm too fat to tie my own shoe. And we were like, yeah, we need to, and then that's, again, as you're talking about community, Cody and I have built a community where we can encourage each other and, and build each other up. We accountability partners for the past couple of years, like, hey, stop doing this. And he stopped, or, hey, you need to do this. We do and so it's not an offensive thing when I'm like, hey, you're fat. And he's like, so are you. I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. It falls in the same line as looking at what you're talking about is, okay, now that you have this community and you want to do it together, join our community so we can strengthen the community that you're already a part of. And I think that's where a lot of people fail, right? So today's January 1st. There's a million people that are going to, have a New Year's resolution to go to the gym. And if you actually look at stats, by the 3rd of January is the slowest day in any gym. So your busiest days are January 1st and 2nd, and your slowest is January 3rd. Most people give up on that. And the reason is because they're trying to do it by themselves. The same thing that goes into play when I teach new people how to butcher or teach people how to do whatever is if they try to go out there and just follow a YouTube video, there's no connection. There's no accountability, right? Like this Facebook group that I created with Cody 4 years ago, the From Field to Plate group, we're almost up to 19,000 people in 4 years. And people,
it's taking off.
And there's no more like fake crap. It's food and stories and family and it's encouragement. If someone's discouraging, we go in there and it's like you shut it down instantly. But it's crazy that people are thriving for encouragement in today's craziness world that we're living in. Or they want to be accepted for who they are and not for what society is telling them they have to be. And again, I live here in California. Jeremy, you and I were talking. It's you can walk around and you can get in trouble because you walk by and like today I held the door open for a lady. I was like, and she's like, oh, thank you. I was like, you're welcome, ma'am. And she goes, excuse me. And I was like, you're welcome thing. Like she got mad that I called her ma'am. And, she was in her late 60s, 70s. And I was, again, being respectful. I was like, you're welcome, ma'am. And she was like, how do you know I'm a ma'am? And I was like, because you got tits. But
that was pretty obvious.
Yes, because you look like one. But it's like, you walk around and it's so hard to, fill this fake void that everyone's doing and this fake fill in the blank. And so to be able to build a community that's based on authenticity. And encouragement.
Just a genuineness from everybody in the community, the encouragement, and having the accountability even amongst the Facebook group, people calling other people out. Jeremiah really enjoys calling out people that use a butterball turkey in their photos and whatnot, and calls it a wild turkey. But
do they do that?
Oh, the best!
Oh my gosh!
The best really? The best is when they put like wild duck, and I'm like, really? That's a domesticated duck breast.
You sure about that?
The fat's this thick. It's pink meat, not dark. I've shot almost every type of duck you can shoot in the U.S. And none of them have been a light pink color.
Light pink meat, right.
None. I've also shot. I've shot all the turkey in the world, but the Goulds, and none of them have ever been giant 12-pound plump breasts with big old huge legs and thighs that are nice and meaty. And I've shot almost 30-pound Easterns, and they're still not that big. And so you see these people post these, and they're like, "Oh, look!" Or a wild boar pork chop, and it's this big, thick white cut. You're like, "You're a liar."
That's not right.
I've even shot 400-pound pigs, and none of them look like that. And so it's but again, it's that fakeness that people want to be accepted, right? People want that 10-second click, and people want that. They want to be Insta famous. They want to have something that will get them 1 million views, and then they could say, "Hey, look, I posted this stupid deer video where I scanned over the body, and I got 1 million."
That's direct.
Oh wait,
that is direct.
I got 10 million with a fart video, so I can't really say anything else.
I'm about 1 million of those, though. My little boy loves that video.
But it's crazy. So when we were talking about this whole fit thing, it was like, oh, we got to talk to Jeremy because of the fact that I've known you for so long, and the authenticity of you is who you are. And we've talked many, many, many of times, and to watch who you are as a person and as a hunter, and to see you admit to your mistakes as you're hunting, or you and I, this was 6 years ago, you were waiting for like the buck. I think you just had that new property, or you just started like the family farm. You were just starting to do a lot of work on it. You guys just started hunting it. And I remember this like fork walked by or something. and it walked by you all season long, but you were waiting for that giant mature buck, and then you ended up the season not getting
one,
getting a deer, and you were like, man, I shouldn't have passed that buck up. And it was like, yes, you want to build up the maturity, but there's also a point where it comes to, are you there to feed your family, or are you just there for, the rack on the wall, which all of us have behind us. So we all love it. We all want the big mature buck, but at the end of the day, when it's the end of the season and your freezer's empty, it's about filling the freezer and telling a story. And that little fork walked by you 400 times. He was asking to die. Like, that was God's way of saying, like, Jeremy, just
feed that guy to your family.
Just take it. And now seeing your boys on that same farm pull monsters, it shows a lot to your, credibility of, not just passing, but then you looked at that saying, there's no deer coming into this property. What are we going to do? And watching you maintain that property and start to love that property and start to, it's like you went in there expecting to do something that couldn't have been done without the support of everyone, and you looking at the entire community saying, hey, how do I make this property huntable? And I think that's where, if you're scared to get into this whole fitness aspect of it, it's like, how do I make this successful? How do I make this one stick? Because we've all downloaded the free apps on our phone that says, hey, lose weight. And after like 2 weeks, we're like, not going to happen. Even so much so that, I put out a Bible app thing for last year to read the New Testament through the entire year. I had like 175 people. Yeah, we're going to do it. You know how many people finished out this year? 4. Right?
I was going to say,
I finished mine in the Bible, so 5. I'm number 5.
So
that
5 people out of the almost 200 plus that were like, we're going to do this. And you can go back and look and watch it just slowly fall off. And I think the thing is this, because I talk to people at church, I talk to people wherever, they're like, yeah, I missed like 2 days. And I was just like, there's no way I can catch up. Excuse me? You can't read 10 minutes? And I think, call me wrong, but I think in fitness, it's probably the same deal. Like, oh my gosh, I was sick for 4 days. I might as well just quit. Right. Or like for me personally, I know you and I talked, I travel a ton for I leave tomorrow morning or tomorrow at 4:00 in the afternoon to go fish sturgeon and to go waterfowl in Washington and Oregon for a week. And then I come home for 2 days. And then I go to Comstock with Cody to go hunt deer and pig. And then I come home, then I go to SHOT Show, and then I come home, then I go to, and so it's like, I'm talking to people like, I just can't, there's no fitness routine that I can do because I travel so much. And so you and I are going to talk about, hey, what do I do while I'm in the airport? What do I do while I'm at a hotel? What are steps that I can do if I don't have a workout facility? Like, okay, pack your bag and just pick up your suitcase, or whatever it is. So I think the encouragement for me is knowing that I've got your phone number. I've got Nick's phone number. It's like, hey, I got a layover in the airport. What can I do to fulfill this, today's goals? And I think a lot of people get so scared of failing that they just don't even try.
I think it's that. Some of the stuff that I watch with individuals is that failing to plan. And so there always needs to be a plan A, but then there also needs to be a plan B. And so the plan B may not be A, but it's better than. So in the app world, like with the Bible app, because I use one as well, I might go 3-4 days and, oh man, I forgot to do that. So what? You jump back into that. We're going to talk with both of you, about what is your goal number of workouts for the year? Everybody thinks about per week. I'm like, let's break it down for a year. So
5.
5. Dude, we're going to get it done. It's 5.
208
workouts is what I do, right? It's 4 a week. And that's my number, right? So if I get ahead of the curve, I'm doing 5 work. By the time turkey season rolls around, I've got extra workouts kind of in the bank over here. So that's one. But then planning them. So you're going to go on that trip. So how do we ebb and flow around that? I see this a lot, and I talk to my boys about this. I talk to my clients about this. I talk to even in the day job, we're starting to use the phrase sense of urgency. Right? We're not putting stuff off. We're going to take action. And that can mean a lot of different things. But, and I think this is I don't know if I can call it a core value, but it's something that I try to instill in my kids is you need a sense of urgency out there. If you got a test coming up, study for that test. If you've got a wrestling tournament coming up, are you doing the things throughout the week to be ready to perform on Saturday morning? If you've got a big goal at work, are you actively forming strategies and tactics that are going to get you to that? So it all kind of goes together. But I think again, knowing what it is that you want to do, so you want to drop 15 to 20 pounds before turkey season hits. Cody, you can use a reel if you want. I shot a bunch of those last year, and I think the biggest one was like 16 pounds. So, I mean, we use mountain bird, right?
It's because you're hunting Texas Rios.
Yeah.
Come hunt a California Rio. They're at least 19 and a half.
Yeah.
Wow.
20 pounds.
Jack shot one. I mean, they had a rope on him and, great spurs. And we hung that thing up and it weighed 13 pounds. And I looked at that and I was like, that cannot be the case. And it sure was, man. I mean, he had everything except girth, I guess. But, yeah. But, no. So a lot of those things are things that we're going to talk about individually and collectively because it's important. It's not the program. The program is important. So don't mistake when I say that the blog that I just put out today, I use the example of guitar chords sound cool, but unless you arrange them in the right way, it's never going to be a song. And so workouts and exercise plans are kind of the same thing, but getting more steps, all right, more water, looking at how you can make smaller changes in your nutrition, your sleep patterns, your stress levels, all of those things impact. And so again, it's diving deeper, gentlemen, into more than just, hey, we're going to go do these exercise routines and cut your fat content.
Yeah.
Bigger than that. It's got to be, because otherwise it will not become habit. It won't be sustainable. And you're going to find yourself right back in the same thing. So the dude I told you about, the duck hunter, right? I trained this guy for over 12 years and he's always worked out, but there was something that clicked one day in a conversation that changed who he was and what he did. And it took, to your point, Jeremiah, of our friendship and what it took for me to get to the point to where I'm going to go buy a grinder and a dehydrator and I'm going to start doing these things by myself. It took that constant dripping of that message to get me to say, you know what? I'm not going to pay that kind of money anymore just to have someone do something that I can do myself in my garage, and the same thing with fitness. All right. It's going to take, or wellness or nutrition, or really putting the whole thing together to where you can see how you're going to become that better dad, husband, father, employee, hunter, neighbor, whatever the case might be. And when you do it, it's pretty freaking cool. I mean, to watch, I trained a 67-year-old grandma this morning in the gym, and she loves her programming. She's not a hunter. She's a hiker. She loves to run after her grandkids. So the same stuff that we do for people that are going to go waterfowl hunting and whatnot, we're applying the same blueprint to her, and she loves it. So, I had a guy tell me one time, there's more to hunt in this world than just, ducks and deer. And I'm like, I never really thought about it that way. So, our program can be for anybody, even though it's mostly the outdoorsmen that we're working with.
Well, yeah, you got turkey, you got chucker, you have dove,
all kinds of stuff.
Quail, you have jackrabbit, you have black-tailed jackrabbit, you've got cottontail, you've got Canada geese, snow geese, speckled-belly geese, lesser and greater of each and every one of those. I can go on and on and on about what you can kill.
Challenge, right? How do you make a snow goose taste good? Because
snow goose is probably one of the better ones to eat.
You like that?
Speckled-belly.
I think the snows taste better.
Do you really? You like them?
Yeah. Speck is the best though. If you want to eat a duck,
maybe you're getting the western snows. The ones over here in Missouri, ooh, man.
Well, no. So by the time they make it down to us in Texas, they're fine. I guess.
They're fine. Yeah.
They fly off all the junk they've been storing up. Up by y'all.
Well, it's kind of think about it. You guys, they had to stop in Ohio before they get to you guys, so that stuff's nasty when they're going through all that stuff to get to.
How has your waterfowl season been? Because it's been awful here in Missouri.
Down here it's terrible.
Well, the thing is like I have friends that are in Montana, and their ponds still aren't frozen, their lakes still aren't frozen, so all the ducks are still
delayed.
Theirs is phenomenal hunting up there. I mean, I've got waterfowl guys in Canada who are still guiding in Canada. Usually this is kind of the slower tip. They're still going nuts. We're finally starting to get some weather around here, so they're starting to push. But
Huh.
it's the numbers aren't what they were last year, but also it's that warm weather.
Right.
I know
Yep.
in Oregon, Washington, they're still slaying it because the ducks are still sitting up there because there's still no snow. I mean, it's where we're
Right.
going. It's like 39, 42, so it's not even dropping down to where anything's freezing and getting snowy yet. But yeah, it has been. We've had a ton of teals, but teals are always early season anyway, so they're always flying.
I was talking to a Texas Parks and Wildlife guy the other day, out at the ranch, and he was saying, the whole migration is so delayed just because nothing's frozen yet, So down here in Texas, I mean, in Missouri, y'all probably have more birds than us just by what's there typically, I mean, we've got coastal ducks, but and some
Right.
teal, but that's really it.
Yeah, our
It's bad.
shovelers are just now starting to show up, and our shovelers are the ones that show up first usually.
Right. Right.
Before the our spoonbill and shovelers are going to show up, then we're going to get our bigger ducks, our gaddies, our California or the Pacific widgeons. We're going to get, and we really haven't even had our massive snow geese come in yet. Our Fish and Wildlife's actually talking about putting out a late season for snows, just because
Right.
they haven't showed up, and we only have a month left
Right.
hunting.
Mm.
But we have a big weather system that's supposed to hit this week up in the Pacific Northwest. So
Yeah.
we're all hoping that it'll push the waterfall down. But it's all of us on the lower end are kind of struggling just for the aspect of it. They're all still sitting in the middle and up top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same in Missouri. Same thing in Missouri. About 2 hours south of here, there's a conservation area where they were killing ducks, but that's in our northern zone. So they split Missouri into 3 zones, and it's closed. So there's been no weather that's pushed. So the birds down in southeast Missouri where I hunt, the season's getting ready to go out, and it's been the same birds that have been there. To put it politely, they do not care about your call or your decoy spread.
Well,
They've seen it all for 60 days, man. So
Yeah.
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 So let's
Yeah.
talk. I mean, I know you like to drop knowledge. I'll drop knowledge. And if
right.
we're sitting there looking at, same thing's gonna happen if you have a turkey that is caught up, or a turkey that is call shy because they've been calling like crazy. Like your birds in Missouri, they've been called that for the past 100 years. Like it is passed on through generation to generation to not go to that call. Same thing is going to happen with all these ducks in a lot of these wooded areas. These ducks are. So what I have found is if you've got an area that is being over hunted, like you guys do, right? First things first, cut down on your decoys. Put out 2 or 3 decoys out there with movement. Don't do any stagnant decoys. So even if you got a pulley string, if you've got a flicker, if you've got a mojo, throw it out there. Only 2 or 3 ducks. Why? Because everyone else is putting out 20, 30, 40, 50 ducks and making this huge spread. Those
Right.
ducks are avoiding when they see more ducks. Second, don't call. Like leave your calls at home. Like if you're out in the ponds, are you hearing the ducks call? No, they are silent, just like a wild turkey. Like if you're hearing if turkeys are going call silent, all I'll do is do scratches,
Right.
or I'll take some feather flapping or whatever. Right? Those birds, you don't hear toms all day long because overpressure of hunters, coyotes, bobcats, fill in the blank. And the same thing is going to apply to waterfowl, especially because again, I'm in Southern California, so our ponds are slant. Like we're only allowed to hunt Wednesdays, Saturdays at our ponds on public land, just because of the fact that you have to give the birds non-pressure. But you'll have 500-600 guys at those ponds every Wednesday, every Saturday,
Wow.
the entire season. And so these birds are so, and like we went out last time, I put out 3 decoys, and I left the calls in the car, and we shot more ducks than anybody else because
Right.
everyone's calling, everyone has decoys out, and these birds are like, we don't want. Oh, you know what? I ended up putting this last time we went out. I spray painted a couple of my my teal, all black, and then painted yellow noses like coots.
Right.
Put 6 coots out there, and the ducks were
Right.
like dive bombing into me with the coots. First, because no one's shooting coots. Second of
That's
all,
that's a tactic that I've heard people use that have had great success.
especially
the
in
volume of
places
birds.
where birds are
Volume,
being
like
over.
you said, they're all still up north.
Yep.
The best birds that worked the field this week, we didn't call.
Yeah.
We just let them do what they were going to do, and they were the ones that actually came in and lit. The other ones, if you blew at them, it was like they found a gear, man. They found an extra gear just to get that way,
Yeah.
right? They were gone. So it's it's a weird season, man. But yeah, you're
but
100% right.
and the deal is people don't want to listen to it, right? This is how I hunt ducks. This is how I have to
Hmm.
do. This is how I have to, these guys that are setting their blinds up right on the water. Sometimes I'm like, hey, take your blind and go 5 feet back. Why?
Right.
Because there's no movement now in the water, and move your decoys right. Go look at all the ducks that are sitting along. They are 1 foot from to hide away from whatever. So scoot your blind back and shoot them instead of being on the water.
And
Give
let
them
them
that.
come all the way in.
Yeah, give them that area. And
Yeah.
people just, I don't know. No one likes to take advice from somebody. They always want to be the one that giving advice. And so for
Right.
me, if some old timer or even if some young kid was like, hey, do this is what's working, I'm like, I'll give it a try. And, because there was other guys at the field and said, dude, stop calling. No, I go,
Right.
first of all, it's a deep pond. They're not feeding.
Right.
So, and second of all, those are 500 teal in the air. They're not mallards. So stop using a mallard call.
Right.
But it's, I watched it on TV and this is what they do. And I watched the competition or you get those guys in the duck field and they're just like hammering this bird. I'm like, all right. And I go out there and just sit out there and one little yip, yip. And all of a sudden this Tom's coming in and he's trying. I took out Cody. I'm like, don't call, no more calling. Cause these Toms were like, I go, let them figure out where we are versus, hey, and then they started working and then all of a sudden all these jakes came running in and the big birds like
pushed them out
by jakes. But the jakes did exactly what the Toms were going to do. And so it's once you understand kind of the aspect of how to hunt pressured birds. I mean, again, I hunt 99% public land, so all my animals are pressured.
Sure.
So once you figure out how to hunt a pressured animal, it actually makes you a better hunter. Like when I go out to hunt in Texas, I'm hunting the whitetail like they're pressured or these hogs like they're pressured. And we've actually got in on, like we set up a couple new feeders. I'm like, we need to set one up here.
Right.
Yep.
Well, it's so far away from everything else. We're seeing some of the best bucks.
We're seeing some really good deer.
Right.
That nobody knew were there because it's off the beaten path. And it's, or these pigs that are coming out that are just these massive pigs that
Monsters.
No one sees. And it's, even today we were at the amusement park and my wife and I went on a ride. They didn't want to go on and we came off and my daughters were waiting for us to get off and they were looking in the wrong spot. And so my wife said, hey, stay behind this tree. As long as you're behind this tree, they can't see you. We can walk right up on them. She's like, what? I go, oh yeah, you're not a hunter. But I was treating that as a public land hunt. Like if I can't see them, they can't see me. And when we walked right up to my daughters and they're looking around, right. And then we scared them and they were like, oh, you suck. But it's like, it's just the mechanics that go into it. And so I don't know. I know we kind of got off topic, but but I know a lot of duck hunters are struggling right now. So hopefully that little tidbit of someone that was listening,
can help somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Shut up. Stop calling. Just sit back, relax, eat one of your little stupid Christmas trees that I've never eaten. That everyone, I don't know what those little
Debbie.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah. I almost got a Little Debbie sponsorship.
Do you really?
You should have. You need to make that call.
I still have that guy's phone number. Yeah, I was sitting next to a Little Debbie's rep on an airplane, and he had on a Little Debbie shirt. I was like, hey, all on the, as a thank you from all hunters, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
And he started laughing. He's like, I'm a hunter too. Oh, here's my card. Call me. I'll send you some. And I was like, yeah, let's get a Little Debbie sponsorship.
That's
but
awesome.
I can't eat any of their crap. Cody can, and then it doesn't feel good. But anyway,
it happens.
I know I told you we'll keep this at 45. So just so you guys know, Cody and I are going to be doing this journey to try to lose our weight, to try to feel better, to try to show you guys and encourage people that are listening, hey, this is doable. And then at the end of however long we set, we're going to jump back on with Jeremy, and we're going to talk about things we loved, things that maybe we didn't like so much, because we're always here to make things better. Also to feel how we feel better, and then go on a hunt. And see what it does for you guys. Because again, I know you guys, everyone reads the reviews on Amazon before they purchase a product.
Sure.
So let us be that review for you, an honest review, so that you can ask us questions along our journey. I know that I'll be posting. Cody be posting too. He's got a couple different accounts. But Jeremy, tell everybody where they can find you on all the social platforms. And then Cody will talk about your social platforms, and then we're going to kind of start this journey in the next next week, and y'all can join along. So Jeremy.
Yep. So website is www.stayfittohunt.com. And you can find us on Instagram at Fit to Hunt Official. Our YouTube channel has, I think, roughly 431 different videos, which a lot of our clients are really digging those things because we break them down into very short segments. All right, here's the movement pattern, here's how it works, and whatnot. And that'll be part of what you're going to be getting as well when we go through and develop your workouts. But I've said it before, and I'll say it right now. If you follow us, you're going to get a treasure trove of just stuff for free. And we do that intentionally. You know, we want people to be able to build things and become better. And that's such a, like I said, you hear that all the time now. It almost gets cliche, but that's where I want you to start. You know, find us on Instagram or just hop on the website and jump around. And if you want to, shoot us a message and we will have a conversation. We love talking to people out there.
And then the email, if they have info, is info@fit2hunt.
Stayfittohunt.com.
Stayfittohunt.com. So
yep.
if you're one of those people that's like, I just want to email them real quick. So just info, and then it's that easy. So, and then Cody, you've got a couple different social media platforms they can follow along.
Yep.
I don't know which one you're going to be using for your fitness stuff.
I'll probably do it on both of them just because. So I'll be posting from West Texas Outfitters on Instagram. You could follow along on that journey there, or you could look at code.red.production on Instagram. You can follow more. I'll probably put more in depth, like closer tracking the journey through it, on Code Red, and just do, milestone parts or whatever on West Texas Outfitters. So you'll be able to see both in both locations, but one will just be more in depth and the other will be the highlight reel, I guess.
Yeah. And then, you can always find me at the same place you find me all the time. So if there's anything else that you guys have questions, comments, concerns, let us know in the comments, or just shoot us any one of us, any three of us, a message on any one of the social platforms. If you're over on Facebook, you want to join a food group that's going to encourage you to do better with your wild game, the From Field to Plate food group, go answer a couple simple questions, join the group. It is no BS. We're up to almost 19,000 people, and it's all food, all stories
and all wild game
from one of our favorite old ladies, Becky, who posts, flip phone pictures, to people who are posting high quality restaurant style stuff. So don't feel let down, but join, as we talked earlier in this, join a community, join a group that's going to support you. Jeremy, you guys also started a group, right, for Facebook type stuff that
it's called the Tribe. And what we do in that one is it's like you're doing food and recipes and whatnot. We talk some fitness in it, but it's really becoming more of the application, right? So, the breaking down the deer, the hunts, the stories, the things of that nature, because we're with the normal platforms, we're focusing so much on the fitness wellness aspect to it. We wanted to create something that was the same thing, but a little different. Tell us about your duck hunt. Tell us about this. People are posting recipes over there as well. I mean, it's kind of fun to have the different aspects to it, and so if people are interested in that, it's just called the Tribe, and hop on in. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, cool. I know I'm a part of it. I wish
I will be.
I wish I post more, but I set a goal last year of cutting down social media time, and so it's actually been a blessing. Even though it's my job, once my time is up, it's up. And Cody knows that. He's like, "Oh, I sent you this." I was like, "I'll look at it tomorrow."
I'm out of screen time. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, my screen time's done for the day. So anyway, thank you all for listening, and until next time, stay fit to hunt.